Cabinet ministers have come before this committee, some are former cabinet ministers now, speaking about the robustness of the system that they put in place. And yet, up until recently at least, not one public notice was ever issued during the election in 2021 specifically, because that was the election you were the leader in. There was not one expulsion of a diplomat until well after this became a public fiasco. To this day, to my knowledge, not one charge has still been laid. And to my knowledge, nobody from the Site Task Force or any of our agencies has claimed that they've interdicted or stopped the promulgation of any false information from a foreign state actor. So the message that there's a robust system and the results don't measure up. So can you speak to whether or not you actually believe this was taken as seriously as it ought to have been? Because and I do have another follow-up question. So if you can keep this as brief as possible, where is structurally I believe our intelligence agencies collected the information, but somebody somewhere had to make a decision, and who failed to make the decision, Mr. O'Toole?
The critical election protocol process is not robust. It was a failure. And that is demonstrated by the news stories afterwards. It's demonstrated in part by the manner in which the Rosenberg report was conducted. Even Ms. Thomas, when she came to this committee and said that our party was given a robust response to our concerns, that was incorrect. She never sent the letter to us. So we have key ministers of the Crown not checking emails, not reading intelligence briefs, the National Security Advisor mistakenly suggesting that our concerns were responded to. We're a G7 country. We know this is happening. There needs to be seriousness and accountability. And this is why I think Madame Hogg should also look at decisions on threshold, as per Ms. Blaney's question, because why weren't we briefed on the 2019 funding of 11 ridings before 2021? Mr. Solomon wanted, and said this specifically to the panel, we want to keep Mr. O'Toole away from fundraisers where there might be influence. And they couldn't or wouldn't tell us that it was happening. Certainly they didn't tell us that 11 candidates had been funded in 2019. So colossal failure might be the best description of the process.